Hello, ladies and gentlemen of Strike Army. My name is Jacob, as always, and welcome to Pokemon Hot Takes, where we go over your hottest takes of the week, and we make a video about them, and I say my opinions, and we just make a video, and it's a fun time. So if you guys want to be a part of this in the future, leave a comment with your hottest take, or join the Discord. I ask every Saturday or Sunday for hot takes, and I record the videos Tuesday or Wednesdays to get them out to the editors. So yeah, let's get started. If you guys enjoy content like this, make sure you guys subscribe and leave a like. We're on the road to 100,000 subscribers by year end, and I know with your guys' help, we can get that goal. And let's do it. Let's begin. First up, we have Gulag Mike, aka Third Gen Gamer, aka Michael. He says, Pokemon and its community has evolved into a state where cheating is okay because it saves time. Whether it is rare candies or minimal grinding settings on a fan game, it still affects the overall experience as the viewer. Grinding gives the streamer the chance to hang out with chat and talk, when rare candies get rid of the opportunity, especially if it is a tougher game and the streamer always has to constantly be prepping or thinking for a fight and ignoring chat. It is not entirely the streamer's fault that this direction has gone, but it is the viewers who have a short attention span and ruining content. Hashtag play games legitimately. Oh, there's a lot to unravel here. Michael makes some good points. I will fully admit, casual can sometimes be good. It all depends. Some people really like to hear constant prepping and stuff because they just love constant, like, oh, how are they going to beat this? What is their game plan to beat this, etc., you know? Some people really enjoy that, but that's probably like 10 to 15% of people. The vast majority of people, they want, when they go into chat, they are like, hey, it's not therapy, but like it's therapeutic for them to be at streams, and some people have a really tough home life, and it helps, you know, just forget about real life for even a couple hours on stream. And I think that is the way some people should go, and I think there should be a balance of that. I don't think rare candies are necessarily the cause. I think maybe they could just take, you know, every 5 to 10 minutes to not prep and, you know, just do casual things with chat. And I think maybe there could be a fun balance between team prepping and having interactions with chat. And some people do a really great job of that. I know myself, I get so invested into team building and everything for these hard ROM hacks that I'm playing. That's kind of hard, and this is why it's been kind of nice to just really focus on the actual content of this channel. And when we have streamed, we haven't really, like this year and stuff, we've only streamed twice in 23 days of the time of this recording. It's kind of nice to just interact with chat, and, you know, because that's the viewers. It's okay, think about it this way, this analogy. The viewers are like the customers of retail, basically. So if you're going to a Walmart or whatever, or a grocery store, you are the reason for that business being open. The chat is not always right, just like the customer's not always right. They're integral, because without the chat, without those customers, the community doesn't exist. The store does not exist. We wouldn't be thriving if we didn't have the interaction. That's why I've been trying to do a really great job of responding to every single comment. And now I know there's probably going to be a time and place where I'm not going to be able to respond to every comment and I'm going to feel bad. But for now, since I'm able to respond to pretty much every single comment, I think I've missed a couple and I felt bad about it. Like if somebody responds to somebody else and I miss it or something, I feel bad, but I know we're all human and stuff. But yeah, Michael made a really good point, and I think it is a hot take because some people just don't see it that way, and that's okay. We all see things differently, and that's the beauty of the world. Josh says, hot take from Gen 6 to 9, the experience there function overlap the long-term grinding in rare candies from Gen 1 to 5. However, from Gen 8 to 9, Pokemon Legends Arceus, Swish, PLA, Scarlet and Violet, the experience candies is a replacement of rare candies, and Pokemon catching in Hisui and Let's Go function in Paldea is new better term of grinding, but only if your lead Pokemon is healthy, Scarlet and Violet only, and if you got very lucky catching Pokemon. I highly recommend back strike technique from Legends Arceus. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, there's a lot in this. I played an hour of Legends Arceus. It just wasn't my cup of tea, and I've said this before on the channel. If you guys like Legends Arceus, that's okay. It was just something different and just was not my cup of tea. However, I love Enamortherian, I love the Hisuian forms, I love those Pokemon, I love the Pokemon introduced in the game, but just not the Pokemon as a whole. I like the grinding from Gens 1 through 4. Gen 5, dog crap, dog shit experience. I don't like it, not fun. But Gens 1 through 4, kind of was the bread and butter for me. Kind of liked it the best. I like the experience candies that they introduced. That's great. But the grinding is kind of just like, But no, I like Gens 1 through 4 grinding the best. But if they had candies back then, sign me up. So kind of hit or miss for this one for me. Next up, Samuel, aka Disbelief, says, I think that there should be more of a dark Pokemon game, something like rated T, because the closest thing we have ever gotten to that is Coliseum games and the Detective Pikachu games, but either way, we need more of a thrilling Pokemon game. Yes, so we'll get into this, the new fun thing later, which I don't really know all about, the new Palmon game. I think that's what it's called, but we'll get into that later. But anyway, more darker themed could be good, but I think that's kind of where the fan games are. Like Pokemon Insurgents, I think is pretty dark, if I remember correctly. Is Pokemon Reborn pretty dark too? I haven't played Reborn, I only played bits and pieces of Insurgents, but I did hear that they're pretty dark games, so I think fan games of Pokemon are more geared towards that because they're able to do that. I don't think Game Freak is ever going to have a mature game like that, unfortunately. It is a hot take, and I do somewhat agree with it. However, I don't think it'll ever happen, unfortunately. But that is a good hot take, Samuel. Peace Guardian, aka Ahsoka, says, she says, I think that Gen 9 is the best in terms of character growth for a single game. The best character development over multiple games goes to Black and White 2. So, yes, character growth over the single game, I think so, because you have Arven, you have Nimona, you have Cassiopeia was her code name in Team Star, but I cannot remember her actual. Anyway, her. There was growth. There was learning. They learned their lessons. Arven really kind of grew up before our eyes. Like Arven's one of the best characters ever because he really makes you care about Mabosstiff and healing Mabosstiff, and it's amazing. I think that is one of the best arcs in any Pokemon game because it's just not just about an evil villain trying to make a new universe or have more water or have more land. It's you can really relate to these characters in wanting to be better and then learning lessons and caring about like his dog. Like Pokemon is basically like our actual animals. Like I think are there actual like animals in Pokemon too, or is it just Pokemon? I think it's just Pokemon. But like I think about it like when I was playing through when I was playing and talking to Arven in the game, his arc, I thought of my cats Lucy and Booty, and like I would want to do anything I could to help them. So I think that's really true for Gen 9, the characters for a single game. And Black and White 2, yeah. Black and White 2 has a lot of character development and stuff, like N especially. Like in Black and White 2, N is not there until the very end of the game, where he just comes out when you're facing Ghetsis at the end and he saves you from Kyurem White or Black, and it's just really awesome. Just have that. And then even some of like the admins of Team Plasma, like the Sages, I think they were called. I can't remember. I think it was Zinzolian, one of the bad ones still. But some of them were good Team Plasma, and some of them were bad Team Plasma. So I do agree that Black and White 2 are definitely awesome character development games for sure. And I know Gen 5 is either really loved by people or really hated by people. Is there somebody that just is kind of like okay with Gen 5? Like, because usually it's either side of the spectrum, you know? I don't know. Interesting. Ooh, Demigod's got a very spicy one. Says Supercell Slam is better than Wild Charge. The debate has raged in dozens of comment sections and Discord since release of the Indigo disc, but it essentially boils down to I'd rather know I'm taking recoil damage and have my opponent switch into a ground type while I lose half my health. Not only is it an unfair argument against Supercell Slam, since the opponent can always just switch into a ghost type on a high jump kick in the exact same way, but a good player isn't going to use Supercell Slam if he suspects a opponent will bring in a ground type. Anyways, that's not even an issue. In harsh words of Pokemon challenges, first thing you can do is you can play better. I mean, technically, that is true. Let's see. I would still, okay, so it's 100 power for Supercell Slam and 90 power for Wild Charge. I think it depends on the Pokemon you're using it with too. I think there's valid points to say Supercell Slam is better than Wild Charge. However, I think there's, depending on the Pokemon, like Emboar is obviously always going to run. I think Supercell Slam still technically should get the Reckless boost though, right? By technicality, right? Supercell Slam is similar to High Jump Kick, so Supercell Slam should get the Reckless boost, but sometimes it's still more appropriate to run Wild Charge, because it is 100 accuracy too. You do got to remember that. However, Supercell Slam could have its uses. I think you just need to run damage calcs to see which one you need, especially in like Draft League, when you're facing like a water type. Do I need this extra damage? I was facing, by the time this video gets out, I'll be using Regieleki with Supercell Slam against a team with Suicune. I'm not going to say how it went or anything, but I needed more power from Supercell Slam, so I ran that over Wild Charge. And that's just that. And Booty, hi honey. I swear she comes up every video. But yeah, I do agree with the Peach Owl thing. He also is just Peach Owl now. He's not Pokemon Challenges. But the first thing you can do is you can play better. Nobody is impervious to playing perfect. Like, that's pretty much impossible to play perfect. You just have to learn as you go, and sometimes you have to weigh risk versus reward. Or you could just run, and hear me out, Wild Charge and Supercell Slam. I got you there. But a lot of times you're not going to do that. Unless you're a banded set or something, then you could probably get away with that, but I digress. Next, Garrett says, I never understood how the Stellar Terra type works until I looked it up on how it works. It's amazing how they made a new typing, but they only made one Pokemon for that type. They also made it when a Pokemon goes to Terra Stellar, each move gets a boost only once, and they can only keep their original type. It's also pretty interesting because Pokemon Contrary take advantage of the sweeping potential with Terra Blast. Sorry if it's not a hot take, couldn't think of anything else. I mean, I guess we can talk about this. I mean, we'll talk about how the Stellar Terra type is weird because they should have just made it a type. And that could be a topic for another video where we create types and I have you guys create your best type and then we go over it. And any Pokemon that are here already can get those types. So yeah, anyway, I guess that's kind of a hot take, but not fully. Also, I don't really fully get the Stellar Terra type. If they should have just made it a type. They should have just made it a type in Gen 9. Call me crazy. That's what they should have just done from the beginning instead of having another type for Terras, but it's weird. It's silly. It's so silly because they keep their defensive types. Like if you're taking an attack, you're still your normal type, but offensive capability, it's just weird. It's so weird. I don't like it. It's weird. Anyway, let's move on. This is coming from our most annoying concepts video in Pokemon history, so go check that out as well. But Butterscoot says, I personally don't understand the hate towards friendly rivals. Maybe it's just my experience, but I found the friendly rivals to be more engaging and fun. Like I want to go and hang out with them after the battle. Asshole rivals feel like a pain. They're just there to ruin your day and nothing else, and that's not fun. And they also said, also hot take, but they kind of like it when there's a new gimmick for each gen, especially if it's something all Pokemon can benefit from. Z-moves, Terras, Dynamax. Granted, I think it'd be cool if all gimmicks are included in the next one. I kind of prefer them separate as each gimmick feels like an integral part of the respective regions, with Megas being the only exception, which I won't lie, I'm not as big of a fan of. Okay, that last part. Not being a big fan of Megas, that's a hot take, 100%, 1000%. Because I love Megas, and I know a lot of other people enjoy Megas as well, and that's okay that you don't love Megas. That's not for everyone. I personally hate Dynamax. I kind of get it. It's kind of cool. The big kaiju monsters are huge. Oh, yeah. But there's also a broken mechanic where I get in double battles, it's 4 double battles. VGC is double battles. That's their primary thing. But I just hate how both Pokemon get the effect. In singles especially, it's completely imbalanced in singles for Dynamax. It was never for singles. It was always for doubles. And I get it. Also, they should be able to be faked out. They should be able to be phased out. They should have given Dynamax more checks and counters. Like, you should be able to fake out the Mon. And I'm not mad about the Protect thing. I think the Protect thing is fine because they did that with Z-moves. 25%, that's fine, don't care. It's the fact that you can't flinch them. I know they're big kaiju monsters, but who the heck cares? You have a freaking Mega Rayquaza that can be flinched? That thing's huge! You may as well just make it so Steelix can't be flinched because it's got 230 base defense. Like, why? Anyways, I'm going to digress before I ramble on. But also part of their other thing, I do like the whole new gimmick thing. I do wish the gimmicks kind of kept going and staying. For the whole gimmicks thing, yeah, I kind of wish they would just be separate, which the only ones that aren't are Megas. Megas were in Gen 6 and 7, but then they just got rid of them. I wish Megas would have stayed the entire time. I just love them so much, and I hope they come back, but they don't. I understand it too. I don't think they're gonna ever come back unless they like make I guess it was on Let's Go too, technically. So if they would make a Let's Go game, maybe they would do that, but I don't know. But anyway, yeah, that is the hot take for Butter Scoots, and I appreciate it, and I agree with it mostly. Shui, as always, aka Lord Jeff, says, Palworld is better than Pokemon, and is going to be the reason that pushes Nintendo to make a better game. There's a lot to talk about in this short statement by Lord Jeff. I think Palworld should not have taken a lot of the designs of Pokemon. I will say that. I think they should have created their own designs, personally. And I think Nintendo's probably looking at this, and they're going to be like, hey, how can we take what Palworld's doing well, incorporate it into Pokemon sense, because like I said earlier, I don't think Pokemon's ever going to be rated anything besides like for kids, PG basically. So they need to take what Palworld's doing well, take some mechanics potentially from them, incorporate them into Pokemon to see how they work. I'm kind of surprised, you know how Infinite Fusions is the thing? I'm kind of surprised how they haven't really done that, where Pokemon can combine to create a better Pokemon within the game. I'm kind of surprised they haven't been able to incorporate that or put that into the game yet, but Palworld being better in Pokemon is, I haven't tried Palworld yet. I don't really have any inclination to want to try it. Doesn't seem like something that I would enjoy personally. Plus, I don't really have the extra time to be playing that TMB. I heard it's kind of addictive a little bit where people have put in like 20, 30 hours already. I'm like, didn't the game come out like 5-6 days ago? I'm like, holy cow. People can do whatever they want, but I don't have the kind of time to put that extra time into that right now. And I'm not saying I would hate the game. I'm just kind of indifferent about it. I know a lot of people are either totally for, think it's the best thing ever, or totally against, they don't like it at all. And it's just like, can't we just meet in the middle a little bit and see both perspectives? I think some people have. I've seen some people's Twitter posts and stuff, or X posts, whatever you want to call it, and they've been kind of indifferent. They're saying, hey, let people enjoy what they enjoy. Don't be bashing on them if they enjoyed the game. Don't be bashing on them if they think it's the worst thing ever. Just let people be people, man. That's all I want. But yeah, I don't think necessarily it's going to be the reason that it pushes Nintendo to make a better game, because I think they really, really have been hitting on all cylinders with Legends Arceus, which objectively it's probably a good game, just not a game for me. And Scarlet and Violet's story was pretty good overall. I think obviously there are certain things about Scarlet and Violet that didn't really hit home, and there are certain mechanics like could have been level scaling. It's kind of clunky going into it, but yeah, we have one more hot take to go over, and let's go over it. Zach says, another of my hot take concerns is Pokemon evolutions. I think it's fine to occasionally have various methods to get new Pokemon, but they can become extremely tedious if left unchecked. To give an example, Inkay to Malamar with the system upside down was fine when it was first introduced, but with it being catchable on Nintendo Switch hardware, you need to know what you can't have hooked up in the system in order to get it to evolve. For context, in order to get Inkay to Malamar and Scarlet and Violet, the Switch itself has to be in handheld mode. What's this mean? That it can't evolve if it's docked and has a USB controller or Pro Controller attached to the system, and is the only thing that needs a lack of anything attached to the Switch just for a single Pokemon. It doesn't make sense. Like that. Okay. I think it's fine, but why do you have to? Okay, I'm gonna talk about some other ways to evolve Pokemon too, since we're talking about Inkay. That, like, how are you supposed to know how to figure out like how to evolve it without looking it up? Like, you can clearly see catching Inkay, this thing evolves. When does it evolve? I don't know when it evolves. Does it get moved? Like, you could have trained it up to like level 60. How are you supposed to, unless you're like upside down on your bed, how are you supposed to randomly evolve it? How are you supposed to know? I think that's such a silly thing. Same with like, oh, let's take 1,000 steps. Was it Bramblin and Palmy? One of the ones you had to take 1,000 steps. Why do you have to take 1,000 steps? Why do you have to use Rage Fist like 30 times or something like that? That's silly stuff. When you could have just had Primeape known Rage Fist and used a Dust Stone on it. Way more simplistic. This doesn't have to be overcomplicated. My dad always taught me the KISS method. Keep it simple, stupid. We don't need complicated ways to evolve Pokemon. I don't care. It's dumb. It's annoying. And Tom literally just said that in the hot take chat on Discord. My lord, GameFreak frustrates me when it comes to evolving Pokemon sometimes, but I digress. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, Substrike Army, this has been Hot Takes number 4. If you guys want your hot takes in the future, join the Discord or leave a comment down below and we might get to it in the future. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you guys subscribe. We're on the road to 100,000 subscribers, and like the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day, and I love you all. Peace.